Hey guys, Wrestling Rebels 89 returning once again with another reaction video. This time I'll be reacting to Stone Cold talking about how much pain he is in after the Botched Piledriver from Owen Hart. Still a really controversial moment. How much pain he is in? Well, considering he's temporarily paralyzed, I'm sure it couldn't have exactly been easy, but I'm curious just to the ins and outs of it, like maybe there's something new Austin can reveal. So anyway, without wasting any more time, let's get started.
Hey Austin, just a question about SummerSlam and when Owen Hart and that accident happened with you.
Yeah.
Did he ever give you a phone call saying that he was sorry? Because I heard in another documentary with Brett saying that he forgot. And then how bad did it hurt on a 1 to 10 level?
Oh man! First of all, no, I never got a phone call, but I got over that. Nonetheless, I wish Owen was still around.
Same.
What'd you ask me? How bad it hurt?
Yeah, on a 1 to 10 level, obviously it hurt. But
man, I tell you what, I remember I was just someone just asked me about the invasion angle. I can't remember the invasion angle, but I can remember that night, and that was Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and we had about 18,000 people there on pay-per-view, and went up for that. I spun him around, and he spun me around, and dropped me on my head, and it was just like I heard a real loud noise, and that noise was Owen's ass and my head hitting that mat. And it felt like someone had just hit a big gong that went through my body, and I just knew instantly I was paralyzed and I could not move. But I stayed razor sharp. I was awake. I never got knocked out. Now, when I saw footage backstage, and I'm kind of just I got pretty scared after that. I didn't get emotional in the ring. I had to finish the task at hand, and I was a transient quadriplegic for about 60 seconds. I couldn't move, and I was supposed to win that match with a Stone Cold Stunner. And the only reason I called an audible for the roll-up was because, if you remember, there was a stipulation in that match, which was a kiss my ass stipulation. So I figured if I didn't get my ass up and roll him up somehow, then I didn't want to have to go to that stipulation, and I was getting white hot, and that IC title really meant a lot to me. So I remember calling the audible, and after I could finally roll to my belly, and I couldn't crawl on my hands because at the time my hands wouldn't work. And if you watch that back and you watch when they play that slow motion of me trying to even crawl, it looks like someone had to spray WD-40 on my knees for them to finally move because I had no controls over those muscles. And I told Earl, tell Owen, roll up for the win. And it was everything I could do, mister, to get on my hands and knees and crawl to him and just barely pull him back. And be it known, you're hearing it from me firsthand, that was the worst roll-up in the history of the business. But I was discombobulated. I was sharp. I knew what I was doing, but the lights were on, but nobody was home. And I believe I was probably concussed at that time. And we got out of the match. Owen thankfully stayed down for the 3 count. It looked bad, and he sacrificed himself for it. And then he complained afterwards that I was pulling the tights. And he got out of the ring, and it was a few minutes, about 30, 40 seconds go by, and I'm trying to get up, and I can't. And they send the other 2 referees out to the match, out to the ring to help me get up. I think it was Jimmy Corderas and Earl Hebner. And if I'm not mistaken, that was Tim White working that match, but they all tried to pick me up. And I remember when I won that match, I was going to give a signal to the crowd, and they handed me the belt, and I tried to stand there on my own, and I raised that belt over my head. And if you watch that video back on WWE Network or YouTube, man, the lights are on, but ain't nobody home. So it hurt like hell. And when I went to the back, where the pain was, it wasn't really in my neck at the time anymore. It felt like when you have a serious trauma to 2, 3, and 4, 5 vertebrae, that's your arms and your legs, and it felt like someone had rubbed a big patch of icy hot on my anterior delts, the front of both of my shoulders, and they would burn like fire for about 2 weeks. And I floated around all the doctors and saw them, and then finally, I didn't think that burning sensation was ever going to go away. And about 3 weeks later, it kind of turned into a dull itch, and then it finally went away. But there was a lot of neurological damage that went with that blow, bruised my spinal cord, and subsequently had to get a surgery in Fuse 3 and 4. But I still suffer a few effects from some reflexes and stuff. But that was a rough night at the office, man. But you know what? I wish that would have never happened, but the fact that it did, I think, kind of added to the legend of Stone Cold, and kind of did indeed, as Jim Ross would go on to say, I was the toughest SOB in the history of the WWF. So it was what it was, but that was a rough night at the office, and I can vouch for that.
Yeah, so again, it was stupid. That move should have never been done. Austin didn't want to take the move. He told Owen Hart before the match not to do it. He didn't want to take it. And Owen just did it anyway for who knows what reason. There's conspiracies that I'm deliberately doing it because he didn't like Austin, but I didn't buy that. Owen Hart was full ribbed, but by all accounts, he was loved by everyone and he didn't have a bad bone in his body. I think he screwed up big time, and it was pretty unforgivable that he never even called Austin. I've heard some people, possibly even Bret Hart, say that Owen felt so bad and so guilty that he didn't want to call Austin because he just felt it would be wrong on some level. But I'm pretty sure, again, it was Bret who actually said that he kept telling Owen he should call Austin and it was the right thing to do. And Hitman was completely right about that. Who knows how Austin's career trajectory would have changed if he didn't get hurt. It definitely forced him to change his style, which could have well been a bonus, but I'm pretty sure myself and Austin and the rest of us fans would have rather Austin have good health rather than get even the amazing run he did. Just sad all around, and it's sad that Owen's no longer with us, because I'm sure in later years he would have been more open to apologising, even if he was out of the wrestling business. But yeah, I just thought that would be an interesting topic. I've heard a lot of talk, including from Austin, about the whole incident, but never in terms of pain and the whole icy hot level of burning up the arms. I haven't heard before, so that was interesting and made me feel bad for Steve. But yeah, anyway, thanks as always for watching. Thanks for all your support lately. Like, subscribe, and click the notifications bell if you haven't already so you never miss an upload. I upload daily. So yeah, thanks again. See you in the next one, guys.